Cool. So, thank you for joining today. I just wanted to talk to some of my customers, especially the ones that have purchased a couple of times, because it
Yeah.
means you're coming back for a reason.
Yes.
Um, and
And
yeah,
there's new ones out, so I'm back again.
there's new ones, there's new earth tones.
Absolutely, I'm all about it.
Um, so yeah, I just wanted to hear your story and to talk a little bit about what you use the paint pens for, because we get
Yeah.
all sorts. We get people that are artists, we get even tradies using it on the work site, we get people customizing surfboards, we get all walks of life. So it's really cool to hear what your story is. And then
Yeah.
I might ask some questions about your experience with other brands and how Surf Paints was different.
Yeah.
And then we'll just flow. We'll just see how it goes for probably about 20 minutes I've got.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for having me.
No worries. So where are you from?
I live on the Mornington Peninsula most of the time,
Lovely.
so I am a Rosebud girl. But we have a house on Bruny Island that we go to once every 4 to 6 weeks. Um, and we hope to retire there in about 5 years. So I'm part-time Luchuita and part-time Boonwurrung.
What's the name of it? I'm going to Google it. Bruny Island.
Bruny, Bruny, and it's at the bottom of the world, and
Oh
it's the
yeah.
most divine place on earth.
Oh, awesome. I'm
And
just
anybody will know my place because it's got the surfboard fence.
so Tasmania.
Correct.
Wow.
And the only way on or off is the ferry.
That is crazy. You're like nearly the furthest point down from Australia.
Yeah, so I'm probably your southernmost customer, but I'm sure there's others on Bruni because it's got quite a strong art community.
Ah,
Um,
interesting. Because
yeah,
I used to live in Esperance in Western Australia. I'm from WA.
yes,
Have you been there?
I have not. I have got a cousin in Frio and a
Oh
friend
yeah.
in Broome.
Yep.
And
No.
sorry, that's my responsible adult in the background with his phone going. I might move
With his what?
with his phone going.
Oh, I didn't hear it, so don't worry about it.
Oh, good one, good
Yeah,
one.
you might hear some trucks out here, which can be quite noisy. But yeah, so
Anybody? Yeah,
yeah.
go on. I was going to say, anybody listening to this later, their dogs will be hearing the cheese wrapper that he just got out of the fridge before, and everybody's dogs' ears will be pricking up. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. I was just going to ask, so was it very cold down there?
It's really cold.
Yeah.
Certain times of the year, everybody leaves. So about August, everybody leaves the island and they go north. But I'm quite
Oh,
happy to be there with the fire going and see the beauty of Bruni and has different colours and different landscapes at that time of year. And I'm just feel happy to be there anytime I can get there, really.
yeah, lovely.
Mm.
Lovely. It looks good. Looks like there's probably some good surf. Um,
There is.
so tell us about yourself. So you want to live there. You're in Melbourne at the moment or in Victoria.
Yeah.
And then you want to go. So what are you an artist?
So
What's your,
I'm a conceptual artist. So in my case, and this doesn't
yeah.
apply to all conceptual artists, I do everything not very well. So I mainly create spaces. So
Yes.
I will 3D an idea. If I had my time over, I would go to NIDA and do the props course, but I'm nearly 58 and that ship has sailed. So I do stuff like I have done green rooms for festivals. I did a book launch for a children's book author and 3D'd her space for her book launch. And I have done B&Bs. My last studio was a Bedford bus. So during the lockdowns, I mosaicked a whole school bus, 1977 school bus in mirror glass. So
Wow.
it was like a giant disco ball.
Yeah.
And I have since sold that bus, and that bus now is on Phillip Island, and that has had the rainbow treatment. So that bus has got a long story that was featured in Frankie magazine, put out publication every couple of years called Spaces, which features the best alternative spaces in the world.
Yeah.
And my bus made it in there, and also one of my B&Bs. So I do B&Bs. I've done shop windows. I've done lots of things, but mainly I create spaces. So my canvas is ever changing and getting added to and subtracted from. And my whole home, I guess, became an installation. That the bus was in the yard, I had a B&B at the back, and then my house itself. So I call myself a conceptual artist. So I know that I'm probably not your normal target market, being an old mole in her 50s, but I think that there's great practical application for everybody. And I think I'm in touch with contemporary culture, so that I think that I still am young at heart.
No,
Maybe.
you're definitely our target market. That's why I'm loving just talking to all these customers. I've spoken to about 12 customers in the last kind of week, and
Yep.
they're all similar age,
Yep.
and they've all got different stories though, which is cool. But
Yes.
yeah, we obviously started. Well, I started with the surfboard painting specific, a
Yep.
specific paint for a surfboard, and the tools
Yes.
to go with it. But fortunately, because our paints are such high quality, made in Japan, that all these artists like yourself were starting to catch on through, word of mouth, or they would buy it for their son surfboard and then use it themselves and go, oh my God. And then we started to change our marketing and opened up to the art world of all types. And that's where we're starting to scale, is in that market like yourself, that are really, go through pens a little bit quicker than a surfer, that want to try all the colors. And yeah, as long as they need a paint pen that's high quality, like, we welcome anyone. So you're definitely our target market.
Well, I guess that's what's happened with me, is that
Yep.
I started because I bought them for my son. I'd
Oh,
initially bought him another brand back
yep.
in the day, and then progressed to that I'd given them to him, stole some back to use in my studio, and then discovered your brand and preferred them. And that's, being honest, not just because I'm talking to you, but otherwise I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't mean what I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the convenience of them as well. So as I said, living between here and Bruny Island, I just can't be stuffed bloody dragging out paints and brushes and cleaning up and all that sort of thing. And then if you've got pens, and thoughts and ideas come into my mind so quickly, and I'm often put off by the prep of dragging stuff out, making the mess, putting it away, and taking stuff to Bruni. And because I've got all my stuff there, clothes and whatever, we only really want to take hand luggage. And I have now bought sets that I have left some surf paints there and surf paints here.
Wow.
And it's just really convenient. And as I said, and I got sidetracked because that's how my brain goes, the ideas come so quickly that I think I'll grab at a pen. So if
Yes.
I'm sitting here and I'm looking at a pair of shoes, and if I've got a pair of Crocs on and I get bored, and I think, oh, I'm going to pimp my shoes, or I'm going to do a certain project, it's easy just to whip them out, and you can do them as the thoughts come to you. So it's like keeping a notepad next to your bed. If I've got pens, which, I've usually got them handy in my pockets or whatever, or in the car, and I can just quickly whip them out and do them without having to worry about digging around and prep and setting up and washing up.
Two things I want to touch on. That is, one is, you mentioned other brands. Feel free to
Yeah.
mention the brands. That's fine. We're not, necessarily. Yeah, we welcome any brand. But
Yeah.
why did that brand that you use? You must have not been satisfied in order to buy a different brand. There must have been something. So I'm interested to know what that brand did not do for you that Surfpaints does for you.
I don't think the they didn't flow as well. So I feel that with surf paints, as you're going, it comes out with an even flow, and enough comes out at a time. So, and also too, I guess the after service is really something that I like. It's funky, it's cool. It makes me think that I'm not old. I think I'm getting in with the crowd. No,
Yeah.
probably they did have a big color range, but I think it's probably the flow of it all and how much comes out at a time. So if I do them side by side, and how they wear is really good too. So I've used them on my surfboard fence at Bruny Island. Bruny Island weather conditions are really, really
Brutal.
extreme. Like if you've got a company to test a product that's going to be outside, Bruny Island's a really good one to use. So I had a flag up a flagpole that was just a nylon flag, and I put it up, and it was brand new. And when I came back, it was just a peace flag. When I came back 4 weeks later, it had faded to nearly white. And so since then I've changed and I've gone onto canvas ones and made my own using surf paints to do the writing, and also put it on the surfboard fence, and it's still on there.
So it didn't fade?
No, it's held on. So couple of the surfboards got donated. There's a place there called Izzy's Bar, and Phil Quirk and his partner run the Izzy Bar. And I was telling him about the surfboard fence. So my whole front fence is all old surfboards, which, look away being a surfer because you think, why the hell would you do that? But otherwise, they're just old surfboards that aren't getting seen and used. They've become part of a tourist attraction. Anyway, was at Izzy Bar, said I was doing the fence, and Phil Quirk said that he would donate me 2 boards, and one of them he'd won Tasmanian junior titles on. So I couldn't believe it. I was so stoked that he donated the boards. And then I said I wanted for him to sign the board, and he was going to come and sign it with a permanent marker.
Izzy's Bar.
But I said, we'll do it with surf paint. So he's going to come back and do it with that, because I put a hashtag on one of them that had hashtag surfboard fence Bruny Island, so that any of the tourists could see that and put it on their photos. And it stayed on there. So now I know that if Phil comes back and signs his boards, that his signature is going to stay on there, and that people know that they're the boards, and locals will know, oh, they're Phil's boards.
Do you use a varnish?
So, look, I haven't, but I could. But they've held up as they are. But good point. Good point.
You don't need to use a varnish unless it's going to come in contact with friction. So like if you're surfing the boards, you'd use a varnish, because otherwise you'll scratch the paint off. But it just depends on the surface. Like, non-porous, you need to put a varnish to make sure it's permanent and also can't be scratched. And then porous surfaces, so like wood, generally it's permanent upon application or fabric. So that's good to hear that you haven't actually used the varnish and they're just withstanding the elements. So
it has. But that's a good point. So my next project down there is I'm making a signpost. So I'm getting a treated pine pole, and then doing some arrows so that they'll have Cloudy Bay, which is the surf beach. So Cloudy Bay, however many kilometres, beach that way, pub that way. So I'll do the signpost, and I am going to use surf paints for that. So they'll be just on old bits of timber that Mike will cut into arrows for me.
Yeah. Oh, if it's treated pine, it'll be very good surface to work with. Raw wood can be, sometimes you need to put a kind of a coat down or give it a really good sand, because it can be a bit more bleedy. But if it's treated, it's generally quite nice and smooth. Yeah,
I think you'll anybody that knows me knows I'm quite a lazy artist. So anything to do with prep and sanding and all that sort of stuff. My sister's more meticulous. She's the full Virgo, that she would sand it and prep it and do all that sort of stuff. And I'm just like, just slapdash, because otherwise that ideas going out of my head and I'm over it. So
So
yeah, but
so how did you hear about it? You told us about kind of a little bit about your story, where you're from, what type of art you're doing in the community as well, which is awesome. So how did you first hear about Surf Paints?
Instagram.
Instagram. Yep.
Yeah. So and then the ads were coming up, so they obviously work.
Yep.
And got my first batch, and then wanted more colours. So and there was the usually that annoys me, but there was the follow up emails and stuff like that. But
Yep.
you're quite engaging in your emails, and you're exactly you sound exactly the tone of your emails sound exactly as you are now talking to you. So
Yep.
I could tell that you were a cool cat. So I actually quite enjoyed the tone of your emails, and they weren't formal, and you speak how you are.
Yes.
Um, and then I followed it up that my sister Lamb, who's an amazing artist, that's the one I was speaking about, who's quite meticulous, the Virgo goddess that she is. It was her birthday, and in the lead up to that, she'd been saying, because I'd posted about one of my projects, which was a canvas bag that I had done with Adventure Bay and the anchor on it. And I'd posted that on my Instagram, and you guys reposted it. And she messaged me and she said, Posca or Surf Paints, discuss. And I did discuss with her, and I said Surf Paints all the way. And then I thought about it, and she had a birthday coming up. So I ordered a set for her, and love the afterpay option too, I must admit. And we've stopped buying each other crap that we don't want, and we're either buying experiences or something creative.
Hmm.
So I ordered them for her and got them sent to her, and she was beside herself because I'd said to her, do not buy another thing to your birthday unless it's a pair of undies, because I thought, she's going to bloody buy them, but
Yeah.
she didn't. And yeah, so she was stoked. So I got her the full set as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that she'll be posting some beautiful projects that she'll be doing, which will be quite different to mine. We're very different in that she's very classic and refined, and I'm bonkers and passionate and out there. So we were featured in a magazine once for our houses, and it was called The Tale of Two Sisters. And I quoted at the time that she's Colette Dinnigan to my Vivienne Westwood. Not that I think that I'm Vivienne Westwood, but just the contrast of the classic and
Did you say
understated.
she's tried them, or was that an upcoming
She's
present?
been sent. I've sent them for her birthday, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know that she's given them a bash yet.
Yeah.
But she will definitely tag and
It'd be interesting to see what she thinks of them. Yeah, it'll be
yes, yes,
good.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's really fussy too. So if she
Ooh.
rates them, you're
Yeah.
doing well, because
Yeah.
she's really hard. She's a hard taskmaster. She likes things to be,
Yeah.
she likes high quality,
Yeah.
and doesn't like to be dicked around or mess or whatever.
Yes.
So she will be a really good judge.
Tell
Yeah,
her to reach out to me. Yeah, well, or tag me. I want to. It'll be funny to hear from her point of view as
absolutely.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll definitely see the contrast of the bonkers sister and the
Yeah. Maybe I'll get
and
her
the
on the video. Get her on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a bit more reserved than I. She's
Yeah.
a beautiful human, but if you could
Yeah.
get her on video, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great artist. She does everything perfectly, and she does everything really well. And then I'm a bit more slapdash. So
That's great. So you saw us on Instagram. You love the tone of our emails because it's kind of just it's not polished. It's a little bit just
absolutely, I hate that sort of crap. Like, I hope
yeah.
my email finds you well. No, it
Yeah.
doesn't find me well. It finds me fucking annoyed. Stop messaging me.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. So that was the point. We're trying to continually improve and show people like yourself their art instead of just saying this is how good our pens are and blah 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 blah. We're trying to just show the artist and what they've created, and hopefully they can go, well, that person looks like someone like me, or I trust that person because it's not their company. That's the kind of approach we're doing now. But
Well, that's what I like too, because not often that people such as myself, at my age or whatever, get a Guernsey, because we become older and invisible. We're not the young cool kids on the skateboards. We were back in the day. I used to live in Torquay. I used to be in the cool gang.
You're
Now I'm,
still in the cool gang.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, love.
Yeah.
So I still listen to cool music and I still listen to old daggy music, but it's good to have that representation, and that there are such practical applications for surf paints that could be
Yeah.
used anywhere. When we were at Breeny recently, we put up some outdoor blinds, and the edges of the screws were silver, but they were going into black. So Mike goes, grab your surf paints, and I quickly dabbed the screws with the black so that they didn't show up. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like
Just a little
um,
touch up.
cover screws, and I've done that on a few things that something was painted green and the screws stood out. So I quickly covered those with the green paint, the green surf paint that matched perfectly. So there's just practical applications in the home. Did you want to see a few things that I've done?
That's yes, I will, because definitely.
Are you up?
That's so interesting you say that, because you carry them on you, like in your purse or in your pocket, wherever
Yes.
you got them,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you never know when you're going to need them. Like a little touch up like that, or if you're at a cafe,
Yeah.
that's really cool. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, but also too, as I said, the ideas come to me quickly.
Mm,
And if I'm
mm.
sitting there, and even like um, if you're traveling and you're on the train or you're going on a long journey or something like that, and instead of being some young scrotum bloody putting your tag on the bloody train, look down at your shoes and go, what can I do that's something that's going to last and
Yeah,
something that can be
yeah,
appreciated, that
yeah,
you walk down the street and someone goes, hey, mate, where'd you get your shoes? Oh, I did them myself. Instead of
yeah,
like, oh, you dickhead, what are you tagging the train for? You know
yeah,
what I mean? Keep them
yeah,
in your pocket and create
yeah,
something of beauty that lasts.
yes,
And then you engage other people in conversation, and it's like, oh, where'd you get your shoes? Well, yeah, well, I did those. Or where'd you get your t-shirt? Or where'd you get your cap? Or where'd you get your
mm,
drink bottle? There's so
mm,
many things that
mm.
you can put your ideas to, and you fill in your time. So a lot of artist brains are going all the time, and you've got the ideas and you need to get them out. Keep a few pens in your pocket. Look at what you're wearing, and instead of, when you're young and you're at school and you're drawing on your hands,
Mm.
pimp your jeans, do your jeans, do your shoes, do your
Absolutely.
t-shirt, do your flannel.
Absolutely. Straight on.
Mm,
No
mm,
prep. Get onto it.
mm. Yeah.
Save yourself time.
Yeah. Get a few things from the op shop and pimp them up and then do a market stall.
Let's have
You
a
know
look
what I
at some of
mean?
your artwork.
All right then. So I wouldn't call these artwork, but these are practical applications. So
Yep.
I'll get old mate over here to flip my camera around. Hang on. All right, cool, cool.
There you
So for instance, you're in a share house and you've got some wanker buying bloody
go.
tiger nut milk.
Yeah.
In the old days, you'd write on it, don't touch, that's mine. It's
Yeah.
like, no one's touching your vegan tiger juice.
Yeah. Lovely. I
Dickhead.
love it. Love it.
Mm. So this is my rock and roll toilet.
Yep. That's
And then,
wow. So did you use surf paints in there, or is that just a bit of everything?
oh, that's a bit of everything. But look at that.
Hot as
Positive
fuck. Oh,
affirmation.
hot AF, eh?
Yeah. Positive affirmation.
Yep. Wake up to that every day would be beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh, I do remember your artwork actually on that bag, was it?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that video.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was a really good review and breakdown, and it was a good idea to show a video doing that. I think it got a lot of engagement, didn't it?
It did.
It did. Oh, the rubber ducky.
Yeah. But different things like I've got a soap dispenser in my bathroom, right? And I don't want to use packaging all the time. So I buy the shampoo and conditioner from the hairdressing supply place, so I'm not using packaging all the time. So, you know, just labeling that.
Yeah, that's a great
Just a
idea.
practical application, and it's not art. It's
Yeah,
just
just
you
works on
know,
everything.
practical use for everything. Um, hang on a minute.
Looks like a nice day where you are now. Are you in
Yeah.
the island right now?
No, I'm on the Mornington Peninsula. I'm not going to
Yeah.
the island for 6 days and so many hours, but
Wow. Look at all those signs. Have I still got you?
yes.
Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Can you see?
I can see now. Yep. You just cut out for a second, but I've got you again.
All right.
Wow, that's so cool.
So this is what I mean about creating spaces. That's artwork by my friend Justine McNamara.
Lovely.
But there's
Wow.
so many opportunities
Yeah.
to
Jeez, look at that. Is that videotapes, recordings? What are they called? The
the sets.
cassettes. Yeah,
Yeah, that's showing my age, isn't it?
yeah. Wow.
Um,
Oh
so
yeah.
any other pieces that I've done
Yeah.
would be at Bruni, but as I said, there's opportunities for practical applications for clothing
Look at
or
that. Yeah. You're a collector.
I am a collector.
Your place looks really fun. It looks very kind of holiday-y.
Yes, and evoking memories. So that's what
Yeah.
I like to do with art is
Yeah.
to evoke some sort of response from people, whether it's positive or negative, or go, what the hell's going on in her brain?
Yeah.
But as I said, to have them in my pocket and
Yeah.
to be able to whip them out and think, okay, I'm going to write on that, or I'm going to draw that, or embellish that, or make it something that is different to what it was intended for. And the use of recycling. So as I said about for young people to grab something from the op shop and or something in the throw out pile and make it into something else that they could either sell or use themselves.
Absolutely. So just revamping old furniture or revamping old surfboards like you brought up earlier.
Yeah, so at Bruny Island, I've got a water ski that I've put a coat hook on, and that's to, sorry, love, that's to hang up wet stuff next to the fire.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
Coco, I really appreciate you taking the time today and showing us what you use the pens for, giving us some feedback on, you know, where you found them, how they compare to other brands. Um, I
yep.
suppose that's all from me. I just wanted to kind of hear your story and see what you've used them on. So now if you had any questions for me, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I've got to run in about 3 minutes.
No worries at all. That's all. Thanks heaps for having me, and thanks for representing middle-aged fat old housewife from Rosebud.
Okay. Thanks for that, Coco. I'll just pause it.